Okay, there we go. I'm gonna pin myself. Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Nice to have you here. And I have a nice little treat for you today. We're gonna do a little Thich Nhat Hanh guided meditation, one of my favorites, one of the first ones I learned like 30 years ago. Oh my God, I'm old. Welcome. As we know, the world is an especially interesting shit show today. So I figured, oh, what a great thing that we get to sit together and breathe. We're going to wait about 3 more minutes to have people gather. I just put it up on my Blue Sky, so I'm hoping maybe Rick is from Blue Sky. Welcome, Rick. If you're, I know you think you're new to this space, so welcome. And yeah, so let's just take a moment to allow ourselves to turn down the volume of the world out there. It'll be there when we get back. Trust me, it will be. And any notifications or any windows you have open or anything like that, I encourage you to close them and just kind of make this space here your space that you can see me. And I'm glad you're all here today. Boy, did my nervous system get activated yesterday. I found myself in like needing to watch live news afternoon kind of feeling, and boy, does that really make me crazy. And then of course all of the future forecasting that my mind will go into does that. So that was fun too, to be sitting with that. Welcome, Rick. And so we're going to wait just a couple more minutes here just to see if anyone else wants to show up. Just before we start, it'd be easier for them to jump in. Feel free in the chat if you want to put where you are sitting today, what part of the country or world, planet you are on, and how about also if you have any regular practice of meditation, just so we can get to know each other in that context. Some of us know each other in different contexts. And then in a minute, we'll start. And welcome everyone from YouTube who's watching on the YouTube. Nice to have you. A fun new thing I'm doing, our little live YouTube. So if you're there, I don't know how to check that without screwing up my audio and bringing you back onto screen. But if you're there, welcome, and put in the comments where you are from and your own practice of meditation or curiosity. And I hope you enjoy what we're going to do today. All right, it's 5 minutes after. Let's see here. Oh, yes, good. Well, welcome from Orlando. And boy, falling off the track of practice is part of the practice because the returning is always, is really the practice. And returning with loving kindness to ourself is that, not the part of us that has the big pointy scary finger and likes to call us bad names. So the way I learned to do this practice is really, the practice is not so much in emptying our mind or not having a monkey mind. A lot of people confuse that about meditation. They think, oh, I can't meditate because my mind just keeps wandering and talking. And I always tell people, well, that's a good thing. It means your brain is working properly. it might be an overdrive a little bit. It's that executive functioning, that default function that they talk about these days in cognitive brain science. And it's just kind of it's like a kind of a 3-year-old who's in the why cat, the why part of life. Well, why this? Why that? Why this? Maybe they're 4 years old. But that part that just is endless. And that part will always be there, and thank God, because that is what leads us to innovation and leads us to imagination and creativity and all that good stuff. But when it's just thinking of things that bring us anxiety, or dark futures, or the dreaded to-do list, even at 3 a.m., it's not fun. So the practice is not in emptying all of that. It's about noticing it, labeling it. You can label it whatever you want. I usually just label it thinking or planning if it's future oriented, or if I'm ruining something in the past and kind of chewing over a conversation or something like that. I'll call it thinking also, but I could also call it ruminating. So I do that, and really, like I said, the point of all of this is to notice when we are no longer present, focusing on whatever point of concentration we're choosing. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a guided meditation, so we won't be just focusing on the breath, but we will do a little bit of that. But we will notice at some point that we will move along, because I'm even going to give you little kind of gata mantras to kind of help you stay present. And that's when we go, oh, that's okay. And like a little puppy or a little toddler, we just escort that part of us back to present moment and focusing on whatever the point of concentration is. And we do it with as much love and kindness as you would do it to a puppy or a little toddler. Because that's kind of the age of that part of our mind. Bright, shiny things excites it. So yeah, so great. So it's 8 minutes after. I'm going to ring the bell once, and then I will walk us through this. So in order to get ready for the bell ringing, I encourage you to sit with your back straight up and down, not tight and forced in like a false kind of, but straight, so the spine is lined up nicely. And then some sort of firm way of sitting, whether you're sitting on a cushion and sitting in a meditation, a lotus, half lotus pose, or on a bench, or on a chair. And just invite you to feel grounded. And so that would mean feeling your sit bones, feeling where you are being supported by the chair and or the cushion and the floor, whatever that may be. So as I ring the bell, excuse me, letting the bell be the focus of concentration and letting yourself settle into the sitting position and really letting yourself ground into it. All right, like I said, I will ring the bell once and then we will get going. All right, here we go. I'm just going to check and see if anyone else needs to come in. Yep, I got someone else coming in. Good. All righty, there we go. Welcome, Steph. Nice to have you here. All right, we're going to ring the bell now. There we go. Just getting my laptop organized. There we go. All right, feet flat on ground or noticing sit bones, letting earth hold us up here as we listen to the sound of the bell. Allowing yourself to connect to that part of psyche that is bigger than the individual separate self and mind. You don't have to understand even what that means, but allowing that part to hold the space for you as you sit here. Allow yourself to settle into the lap of the great lap of life. Could be the great mother, could be the cosmic lap, but allowing yourself to be held by the space around you. That is holding you right now. Earth is holding you, solid mountain underneath you. Space is allowing you to breathe in air. All the elements that allow for all of life on Earth. And so opening the door to that reality of right now we are being so held and supported, no matter what the thinking mind or feeling mind is doing right now. And maybe taking a moment for a little internal bow of gratitude towards that life that is holding us and sustaining us right now. And so this meditation today will help you focus on the breathing in and the breathing out with an image and or word to focus your concentration. This is a pretty famous one by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's one of the first meditations I learned. And so the first line is breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. You don't have to chase after this feeling of flower or fresh. Just let the words be the mantra. And so as we sit and breathe here for a few minutes in silence, as you're breathing in, you can use the word flower. And as you're breathing out, you can use the word fresh to focus on. And so let's just sit here for a moment in silence using this little gata mantra. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Flower, fresh. Gently bringing your mind back to the words flower, fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Mountain, solid. Mountain, solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Still water, reflecting. still water reflecting. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Space, free. Space, free. Taking a slow moment Very slow moment to just bring this back with you as you come back into your room, feeling your body in the space. And I want to invite you to just notice which of the images felt most healing for you today. Was it flower fresh, mountain solid, still water reflecting, or space free? And nothing to do about it or figure out, but just to acknowledge that whatever that image held for you is probably some medicine for you today or this week. And bridging the two traditions I teach from, you could use it as a jumping off point, maybe for some journaling later, or drawing, or dialoguing, or returning to the image in your own meditation practice this week, or those moments of mindfulness that you build into your day, letting mountain or still water, flower or space come forward, companion you as you walk through the world, through your work, relationships, the busy, active, collective changes. Thai, that's what we call Thich Nhat Hanh, those of us who are students of his, whether you're listening to a tape or you've gone to a retreat of his. Thai had a beautiful way of using imagery, poetic imagery, to make the teachings that are very sophisticated and can be complicated, but the teachings of the path of the Buddha, Buddhism, to really bring them home in a way that even a 4 or 5-year-old could understand. There were always many at retreats, little ones there in their own little mini retreat, but they would walk with us in walking meditation. It's very sweet. But he had such a beautiful way, Thai did, of bringing nature forward as an image to help us settle into our true nature. I put up on Blue Sky and inside of my community, Humans on the Verge, a Dharma talk from Thai about violence. Shared it because I haven't listened to all of it. I listened to the first few minutes and thought, yeah, this will be good, because I too need a regrounding every time some big activating event happens in the world. There's lots of ways in which we can approach these events, and lots of parts of us have an opinion. I mentioned on social media last night that I have an inner cynical nihilist that has a lot of conspiracy theories. I shared that one from that perspective, honoring that, okay, it's a perspective, but getting to hear from a man like Thich Nhat Hanh, who in his early days as a monk with his peers and fellow nuns and monks, were walking through the height of the Vietnam War, and they were easing the suffering of any and all who needed it. Did not matter the side they were on. And as I've spoken about here before, he was ultimately exiled for that when the Viet Cong won the war, and then was able to return in the aughts, and sometime in the last 20 years, and reestablish his monastery there, a monastery there. And it is where he died. Just watching the cycle and hearing the cycle of his story like that just lets me understand that over decades there is reconciliation and healing that is possible. And humans have lived through it and to the other side of it. So that gives me some sense of, okay, all right, we know how to do this. We've done it many times in our human history and prehistory. I'm going to open up the floor here to anyone. If anyone has a question, or as I like to say, an answer. I'm going to check my YouTube here on my phone to see if anybody's got a question on YouTube while you're watching us. There may be no one over there watching us for all I know. Oh, good. Ben is there. Hi, Ben. And someone from Santa Fe. Beautiful. Well, if Ben or BN, if you have a question for me about anything, it could be about meditation, it could be about the creative process, it could be about my life. Some people find me because of my father. I'm certainly open to a question about him, but I generally don't see this space as really about that, unless it would pertain to maybe the practice that we're doing today or some other kind of transformational journey, or certainly creativity. I can speak to that. Yes, Steph.
So, in investing in the writing process and following through with my stand that I claimed for the year as far as breakthrough performance, I've committed to 5 minutes of stand up at a open mic night in October. And yesterday I was in my bliss. I was, blowing bubbles underwater, swimming with the fish and pointing out starfish and things like that. You know, surface to find out all of the events that happened yesterday. And then on the way back, a rogue wave came in front of the boat. The boat lifted. I went up, came down, and pretty much compressed my thoracic and lumbar vertebrae. So it's been a very
Wow.
interesting time to think about writing comedy.
Talk about a spiritual practice.
But I think, I'm going to stick with the why. And it really is that laughter is the best medicine. And I'm trying to find my method in writing. How do I do it smart, funny? How do I do it a little bit self-deprecating? How do I do it so that people get it? So any recommendations on the process?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, the process will happen in real time for you. That is the nature of stand-up comedy. You will see what works and what doesn't. It will give you permission to completely let go of outcome, to get on that stage and to just go for it. And let this be a tiny experiment for yourself where you're just there to collect data and get really curious about what you're learning. And for me, when I want to bring comedy to a performance, because I'm not a stand-up, I don't do setup joke. I don't do it that way, but in story I do, and in off the cuff things I do. And I do find that, I mean, that self-deprecation is a great place to start. It's where a lot of stand-ups do start, because this is your canvas, this is your palette, this is your life. And and in these times, it's a little easier than being a tightrope walking social commentator. I think that takes a little more experience and a little more confidence, and knowing your audience, and knowing where the line is. But that's part of comedy too, is finding the line, as we know. So we've watched it the last 15 years. And it's something my dad very much lived for. But that self-deprecating thing is great. And the things that connect us, right? The universal stuff, they call it the observational comedy. But that does help too, because then you're bringing your audience along. And I find that with anything we do, or anything I do, whether it's I'm performing and kind of out in that mode, or I'm teaching, or hanging out with friends, or whatever it is, it is that sense of we, from me to we, that we get to play with that line, and finding the things that might be unique to you, but are a most likely underneath, scratch the surface of our kind of our bio, and it's a universal truth. It's an archetypal human experience of some kind. Stand-up comedy is a tightrope, and it'll teach you to really stay in the moment too. Yeah, and that's exciting. Really, really exciting. I'm so excited. I hope someone tapes it for you. That's another thing too. My dad taped every single one of his performances. You can just put your phone on the stage and tape it for yourself, so you can hear yourself too, because that's where the rewriting comes from, and that's because you might be a bit out of your body the first 100 times you do it. So it'll be helpful. And good luck to you. We have someone sharing here on the Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. Oh, Facebook. I said the word. I said the nasty word. I'm so sorry. On the YouTube Live, when I asked the question about which image was powerful for them, they said the still water reflecting. I've been told to go to the water when I need healing or calming. So, yeah. And Stephanie, who just spoke here, she's like she just said, she's a scuba diver, certified scuba diver, and all sorts of certifications with that. And water is definitely her element that she goes to. And yeah, that image for me, I remember when I first did this meditation, and we can kind of share a little bit too if you want. For me, like, the image that always came up at the very beginning with flower was this yellow daisy, and like just a really happy daisy face. Not that it had a human face, but it was just kind of oozing joy on some level. And Solid Mountain was always very powerful for me, and has helped me a lot, because I was not a very grounded person earlier in my life. And so learning to connect to mountain energy has been important to me. But that reflecting water, whenever I get to that part, I see this mirror lake reflecting the solid mountain, and kind of the meadow of plants and flowers. And that is a potent space, that reflecting, still water reflecting, because it can help you walk through the turbulence of your inner life and the turbulence of outer life in a different way, where you're just being the still water inside of it. And then the space free is always interesting also for me. It's always a moment of no boundaries, no limits. In Zen, different walk of Zen, we call it big mind. It's where there's no boundaries at all. It is just space. And that can be terrifying for some people, because having no boundary or limits is, it's something the ego craves but can't really handle. But when you kind of leap into it, I have another technique I do. It's called voice dialogue, where we do different voices and end up in this space, big mind space. But it also is another space where the chattering mind is not in that realm. In big mind, big heart, chattering voice, chattering mind is not there. So yeah, they're just very potent archetypal images and energies, and not to overthink it, not to make anything happen with it, because that's kind of not the point, but to just see what comes. And then BN says down here at the YouTube live, funny, I was trying to force an image of the dahlia at first, but then a bright yellow daisy kept pushing in. Oh, maybe my bright yellow daisy wanted to hang out with your bright yellow daisy. That's great. Anyone else have a little question or something to share from the space? Yes, Brett.
When we started this session, you mentioned about the news coverage of everything. And I spent 6.5 years in news,
Ah,
um, in production, and really pushing that out. And nobody prepares you for that. They don't tell you.
no.
And I quit over a decade ago,
Mm,
and I'm still trying to, God damn.
yeah.
And because of somebody I worked with at the station, that's who brought me to you.
Oh.
And he's been in a very bad place lately, and I cannot connect with him. And it's scaring the shit out of me.
Mm,
But I think he's okay, but
yeah.
um, I don't know, man. It's been a lot going on lately, and I've been doing everything I can locally here to live the life that is possible for me.
Yeah.
And instead of pushing out news production, I'm pushing out, those little commercials for the coffee shops and boutiques here in this little small town. So it feels good to be able to focus my um, powers for good.
Yeah. Yeah. Using your skill set in a way that is supporting the interconnection of a town, people, the very weaving of life. My husband worked in tabloid television as a cameraman for
Yeah.
Inside Edition for quite a few years, and they do not prepare you for it. And if you are a person with any kind of conscience or eh, uh,
I have autism, come to find out, just
eh,
in October. So
oh wow, Brett. So even more the sensitivity issues you have of being neurodivergent. Um,
without knowing it for 43 years,
mm,
and it is just, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
And all of you too.
Thank you, Brett. I'm so glad you're here again this week, that you are finding community, that you are making community and serving community. And
I had to go see them all this morning.
I
I
bet
went
you
to the
did.
coffee shop. I got all jacked up on caffeine, then tried to meditate and been hitting my nicotine fake during the session, and I am a fucking mess. So I'm gonna take a nap after this and recenter.
Yes, Brett.
And as you know, I have that huge meeting coming up, so I think I really need to flush the toilet. So thank you.
Yeah, and keep whichever image really helped you. Mountain
Hey,
Solid can be really helpful for you right now.
okay. I,
Yeah,
I couldn't get there at all during the session.
that's okay. This will be recorded. It'll be up on my YouTube.
I think
Listen
I
to
needed
it
to
again.
do the breathing and relaxing from head to toe first.
Good.
That really helped in our previous sessions. And today, like I said, I had my big stupid coffee with Fred,
Yeah,
but it was totally worth it, and I'll get back there soon.
absolutely. And
Yep.
yeah, you're yeah, and but listen to how you know how to take care of yourself. So that's really what this is about, is we know what we need and we learn every day to recover with a little more kindness to ourselves and recover maybe a nanosecond sooner. That's all. There's no there's no perfection going on here. There's no right or wrong. There's just us being humans, having humans experiences, and remembering we have tools. We have tools. Yeah. And you got here today, Brett, so that's beautiful.
Well, I'm depressed because I looked through all my stand-up comedy jokes and they're all shit.
Keep writing. Keep writing.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, you're welcome. Hmm. Yes, Rick, come on in.
Yeah, I don't really have a question or anything like that, but I just wanted to say to Brett, I used to work in TV news as well and actually got out about 8 years ago. So I just wanted to say congrats to him for also making it out, because I know a lot of people that want to get out sometimes and can't get out of that business because they just becomes a big part of their identity, or other things like that. And it's a whole different experience on the other side of things for sure. So I just wanted to let you know, when you said that, I was like, I feel you, man. And
Mhm.
I wanted to thank Kelly for leading the meditation today.
Oh,
There
thank you.
really needs to be some sort of support group for post-production TV news people. Like
For
a
real.
lot of my friends, a lot of my director friends, and they're dead from suicide from working there, or
Jeez.
um, there's a lot of suspected stuff going on in that station.
Yeah, the mental health of the entertainment industry and media in general. It is a it is a soulless, can be a soulless machine. Um, it certainly depends on who's running things and all that kind of stuff. But even the best of TV or film production, which is what I've worked on, is not at all human body, human mind, human relationship friendly. And, you know, and that's, it's too bad because it is both the news and journalism and storytelling through entertainment are essential parts of, well, being human, but also being in human communities. And it's too bad that capitalism, toxic capitalism, fucks that up so much. So, and I'm so sorry to hear, you know, that we certainly don't think about the other side of it. But that there is that news junkie feeling. There is that adrenaline dopamine hit of being in media that is an addiction like anything else and does become part of your identity, like Rick said. So, yeah. Anyone else need to speak anything into the space today? And I just want to say that I really appreciate you being here, in the sense that I'm glad that I've opened up this space and that we are gathering people here, and whether it's one person or 50 people that shows up does not matter. We are creating intentional space for this kind of energy and contemplation. There's BN on YouTube is sharing how he's also ex-media person. So it seems like we've begun the support group, you guys. Here it is. And it is such an interesting thing to think about, like, yeah, oh, how can I serve that culture and that society too?
I did. I used to run 3 different fibromyalgia support groups on Facebook, and then the physical pain was coming from the undiagnosed autism, and I'm like, should I go into autism now? And I didn't just want to focus on that, so I just kind of left the support online support community and tried to take care of my mental health first.
Yeah, Brett, what I want to say to you is, you know, some of us have a very strong urge in us to be the helpers and the healers. And that's a beautiful impulse. And sometimes it's not the right thing to do. Sometimes we need to back off and do it in a way. And then if we do re-enter that zone, to do it in a new way, where we are not absorbing the stuff. So it's essential for many of us who, you know, our hearts are big and we want to share what we've learned, which is so beautiful. But sometimes holding space for other people is it's a lot. It's a lot. So I get a lot of support in my life, and I have spaces where I'm held. So that's important. And I've also had professional training in healthy boundary making around that kind of stuff. So that comes in a lot. I've had a lot of that training, so that does help. All right, you guys, we are 3 minutes until the top of the hour. We will see you here again next week on Thursday. And if you need anything else, my community of support for the world is called Humans on the Verge. There's a website. You can always go check out what we do there. But I'm excited to see you all next week. And I will see what bubbles up in the morning, what kind of meditation we're going to do. Who knows? I'm going to let Psyche lead that exploration. And thank you to everyone on YouTube Live who showed up. So lovely to have this new community that I'm building on YouTube. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just showing up. So, and for all you stand-ups out there, beginners and experts, break a tibia, as my dad used to say. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day, and I will see you all next